88% of self-made millionaires spend at least 30 minutes a day learning, reading, or improving their knowledge. And today, I'm sharing with you the success skills that I attribute to millions. And I'm not just guessing here, I'm speaking as someone who has sold multiple millions of dollars. I believe it started with mastering these specific skills that I'm sharing with you today. And they've worked in my clients' businesses, in healthcare, in relationships, in careers, in every sector you can imagine, because they're universal principles that apply whether you're selling software or sandwiches, consulting or construction. And they don't just build businesses, they build people. So let's talk about cornerstone number one skill of all lasting success, and that is number one, principles. Practicing principles is the skill that you need to develop. You need to be a person of principle. If you don't have principles, you'll never make it. And if you do make it, you'll never last. How many of you guys remember Theranos? Founded by Elizabeth Holmes. This is a woman who at one point was hailed as the next Steve Jobs. Theranos became a $9 billion company, but it didn't last. And so what happened with Theranos? The company claimed to have a device that could run hundreds of tests on your health with just this tiny, teeny drop of blood. And it sounded amazing, except for just one problem, which of course is the technology didn't actually work. So what would someone with principles have done? Someone who valued integrity over image, they would have gone back to the drawing board. They would have been honest about the challenges they were experiencing and worked to make the technology viable. But what happened to Theranos? The company actually completely crumbled, and it was because it was built on deception instead of integrity and principles. And so I see so many entrepreneurs focused on looking successful rather than being trustworthy. Too many people put more effort into curating their Instagram feed than cultivating their inner values. How many of you guys have seen this already? There are more people out there polishing their LinkedIn profile than building genuine professional ethics. And here's what I've learned after mentoring and speaking to thousands of entrepreneurs. The ones who build empires, the ones that last, aren't the ones that are focused on the flashiest marketing and getting the most attention about how great they are, because flashy brands come and go. The ones that last are starting on a foundation that is rock solid with its moral compass. I love what Roy Disney said. He said, it's not hard to make decisions when you know what your values are. It's such a foundational skill to develop, and I think most people overlook this when they're trying to figure out how to build a successful business. So be a person of principle. You have to have some rules, some beliefs, some ideas that are guiding you. Make decisions today that your future self will thank you for. Number two is the skill of problem solving. You have to learn the skill of problem solving. In fact, that is what your business is. If you are in business, you are in the business of solving problems. And here's the biggest mistake most people make. Most people think what they're offering is the real problem. Most people are not solving the real problem. No real problem, no real pain. No real pain, no real urgency. No real urgency, no real business. You have to develop the skill of recognizing the real problem. And a lot of people come up with solutions that they want to sell for a problem that nobody has and nobody cares about. I see it all of the time. People get excited about their big idea. They say, this is going to be amazing. I'm trailblazing this new path. And then they bring it out into the market and the market says, what is this? I don't get it. And guess what? Nobody but you knows. That's the problem. So solve a problem that they think they have, not what you want them to recognize they have. Solve a problem they know they have. Here's the other thing. If they don't know it's a problem, they're not going to care about your solution. And I see so many entrepreneurs, coaches, agency owners trying to educate people to get them to agree with them so they'll buy their product. So stop trying to convince people to care about what you want them to care about. Instead, solve a problem they actually care about. How many of you guys are tracking with me on this principle, this skill? Why it's so important? That's why so many people struggle to successfully sell their products and their services. They completely miss this point. Imagine for a second that you're selling a meal prep service. You might think, okay, the problem is that people really want to eat healthier meals, but they're just very overwhelmed, very confused. See, most people have a rough idea of what healthy versus junk is. They know a Twinkie is not ideal. They know fruits and vegetables are good for them. That's not the main challenge they have. What's the main challenge? It's not why they're interested in the meal prep service. So if you think that they want a meal prep service because they want to eat healthier and they want you to help them find the healthiest foods, then you're going to actually miss the opportunity to highlight the main thing they want, the main problem they're having. You're highlighting the wrong problem. And so you're probably going to go out there. If that's your philosophy, here's how you're probably going to market your meal prep. You're going to talk about all of the nutritional values of the recipe, how organic the ingredients are, really educate them on the benefits of clean eating. But here's the issue. Is they already know that. If someone is looking for a clean meal prep service, they probably already know clean eating is important. And so that's not the main problem they're having. What they're having is a problem of overwhelm and stress, and they don't have enough time to cook after a long day. So their pain isn't necessarily about nutrition, and it's also confusing. It's about convenience. And so instead of solving the problem you think they have, which is eating healthier, solve the problem they know they have, which is lack of time and the amount of energy and the amount of effort required to prepare the meals. Speak to that in your offer. So example, imagine coming home after a long day and instead of stressing about dinner and spending hours over the hot stove, you open the fridge and you find a delicious, ready-to-eat meal waiting for you to keep you on track to reach your goals. No prep, no hassle. You just heat it, eat it, relax, and enjoy. So by addressing and highlighting the real pain point, which is time and stress, you're connecting with what they already know they want, like the problem they already know they have, what they already know they need a solution. Then you can highlight how clean the food is and how it's really going to help them stay on track and make sure it's aligned with their also beliefs in clean eating and eating healthy. But you're providing the solution that they're actually looking for, the solution to the real problem, which is prepping the food. Here's the other point about being a really good problem solver. The bigger the problem, the bigger the pain. So if you want to get paid more, you have to have a skill of solving bigger problems for people. Naval Ravikant said, you get paid in the proportion of the difficulty of the problems you solve. I say, you get paid in direct relation to the size and significance of the problems you solve. The bigger the problem, the bigger the pain. You see, people will always pay to get rid of pain faster than they'll pay to chase pleasure. Because when it hurts and we want relief, we want it now. Pain makes the wallet open quicker than any promise ever will. Like imagine if you wake up one morning and you have a terrible toothache. The pain is sharp, it's constant, it's unbearable. At that moment, your mind is not focused on saving money and looking for the best deal. You call up the dentist and you say, hey, I have a problem. My tooth is killing me. Can you please see me today? Are you able to squeeze me in? They say, listen, we can see you immediately, but it's an emergency visit. It's going to cost you an extra $500. Do you hesitate? Probably not. Why? Because the pain is so urgent, you're willing to pay almost anything to make it stop. Now imagine a dentist calls and they're offering you $500 teeth whitening. Here's our package. It's a $500 teeth whitening package, and you're going to have a brighter smile in 6 weeks. Unless you are actively seeking out that solution, you are far less likely in that moment to pull out your wallet and spend $500 on that offer. Why? Because there's no immediate pain driving the decision. It's a nice to have, not a must have. I see so many entrepreneurs offering to solve real problems, and they're not big problems. How many of you guys know sometimes people have problems that they complain about, but they're not big enough for them to ever pay to get rid of the problem? And so many entrepreneurs are trying to solve those kinds of problems, and they wonder why they struggle to get interest. Start seeing, solving, and simplifying solutions for real people's struggles. Imagine someone out there right now is stuck, frustrated, overwhelmed, and looking for answers. What is the solution that you have? What problems can you solve right now to help someone who's in pain today? I would argue if you actually develop this skill, you'd find there are some problems, some pretty painful problems that you already know how to help people solve. They're waiting for a solution to their problem, and you could be the one to give it to them. Skill number 3 is persuasion. Persuasion is possibly the number one skill you need to have if you want to have a successful business. If you want to be successful in life and anything, you have to be a highly persuasive person. And the key component to being a highly persuasive person, I would argue, is loving people. It starts with loving people. loving the people you are persuading. Only persuade people on something that's good for them. In fact, Theodore Roosevelt said, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. Isn't that true? And so when you genuinely care about your people, you will never sell them something that doesn't serve them because their trust is worth more than any paycheck. If it's not good for them, don't sell it, period. And that mindset will elevate every area of your life because everything is selling. Job interview, you're selling your skills. Leading a team, you're selling your vision. Parenting, you're selling your values. Marriage, you're selling your commitment. To get married, you still have to know how to sell. Like you're basically saying, here's the deal. You're gonna get all of this for life, no refunds, no returns. Act now or somebody else is gonna snatch it up. This is a limited time offer. So this is the skill, persuasion. Let's focus on the person you are persuading and make the experience about them from a place of genuinely caring about people. We could just stop right there. And if you implemented that principle, if you implemented that skill from that principle of caring about people and loving people, your life would change. If it's not good for them, don't persuade them. If it's not right for them, don't push them. If it doesn't serve them, let it go. And so you say to me, okay, I'm with you. How do I persuade people to do things that are good for them? First thing you need to understand is what persuade means. To persuade means to cause someone to do something through reasoning. Through what? Reasoning. And so what does that mean? That means you have to know their reasons. And one of the biggest mistakes that I see entrepreneurs make is entrepreneurs try to persuade people without considering that person's reasons. You say, well, okay, Valerie, what if I don't know what the reasons are? Simple. Start listening. If you want the answers, you have to start listening because the truth is always found in what others are willing to share if you're willing to hear. And if they're not saying anything, then you need to ask them questions for them to say something that you can listen to. You say, Valerie, what am I listening for? You're listening to and listening for their reasons. This is where most people fail. They skip asking questions. Because they don't ask enough questions and they don't do enough listening, they just jump straight into pitching. So you need to ask enough questions so that they can supply the substance of the sale. You have the structure, but they have the actual substance of the sale. So what do I mean by substance of the sale? Let's say someone comes to you because they're thinking about joining a gym. And your job is to start listing off all the gym features, right? That's what you think your job is. I'm going to start telling them all about this gym. So you start telling them how many treadmills you have, all the different classes they offer, and all the variety you have. And maybe you start telling them about how the flexible hours they have, how many hours you're open, what time you close. But what if instead you started asking questions to understand their motivation? What if instead you said, what has you interested in a gym membership right now? They might say, well, listen, I just want to get healthier. Really? Great. Okay. Great start. Dig deeper. What does getting healthy look like to you? Is it about losing weight? Is it about building strength? Is it about having more energy? Let's say they respond and they say, I'd love to have more energy so I can keep up with my kids and I want to be able to be there and play with them and run around. Okay, now we're getting somewhere, right? What's something you'd really love to do with your kids if you had more energy? Maybe they'd say, I'd love to play soccer with them on the weekends. I'd love to be able to run around on the soccer field and without getting winded, without needing to have to sit down. Now you understand the real reason they want to feel energized and be more active with their kids. And when you present your offer, you focus on that. Listen, joining this gym is so much more than all of the equipment that we have that I could share with you right now. It's about building and helping you maintain energy and stamina so you can do the things you love, like playing soccer with your kids on the weekends without feeling out of breath and constantly having to take a sit down on the bleachers. With that personalization, then you can connect it to the gym, right? Listen, we have very personalized fitness plans. We'll make sure your workout is designed to get you closer to that goal specifically, which is all around building stamina. You're not just selling a gym membership to them right here. You're showing them how the gym actually helps them achieve their deepest desire. By asking thoughtful questions, you let them provide the reasons for joining. And then all you're doing is you're simply connecting the dots between what they said their reasons were to you have the path to get them there. So go out there, listen intently, serve genuinely, because when you focus on their reasons and their success becomes your success. So there you have it. Those are the 3 success skills that can make you millions. If you like this video, like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out with the algorithm. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.